My name is Juan Jose Munoz. I'm an American young man who grew up in Colombia, navigating two worlds that shaped who I am today. My goal? To serve the American people in the United States Congress. The road there isn't simple. It's an odyssey defined by strategic choices, rigorous preparation, and an unwavering commitment to public service. This is the beginning of my story, a journey I will build step by step. Here, I'll lay out my vision, exploring the educational pursuit, the professional paths available to me, and how my distinct multicultural background will shape my approach to representation. This is not just my story, it's about redefining what it means to represent the United States of America. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Hollywood, Florida, just outside Miami, during a time when my parents were living and working in Dallas, Texas. A year later, back in Dallas, my younger sister was born, and shortly afterward, my parents decided that it was time to return to Colombia to reconnect with their roots and start a new chapter as a family. Growing up in Colombia, I attended a French school, immersing myself in multiple cultures from an early age. Studying simultaneously in the Colombian and French educational systems, I became fluent in four languages and learned how to embrace diverse perspectives. This rich multicultural environment deeply influenced who I am today, shaping my belief that effective leadership demands openness, empathy, and a genuine appreciation for diversity. After graduating high school, I came back to the United States, drawn by the opportunity to study at Northeastern University. Here, I went from working at City Garden and co-founding an LLC with my father to collaborating with NGOs that supported communities in Central America. Following that, I also took pride in my roots, founding the Colombian Huskies Club at Northeastern and serving as a board member of the Colombian Conference at Harvard and MIT, bringing together students and professionals from across the globe to discuss Colombia's future. Yet, I still haven't mentioned the experience that truly defined my path toward public service. Come with me and let me tell you all about it. One of the biggest moments of my professional career was definitely working for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. There, I assisted federal prosecutors in preparing major cases, analyzing forensic evidence, and immersing myself in the intricacies of the American justice system. The recognition I received reinforced my direction, a journey dedicated to public service, justice, and meaningful representation. As I begin mapping out my journey to Congress, it's important to study how others have attained this goal. Understanding the patterns and key decisions in their journeys help me see the options ahead, and it will tell me where my own background will fit into the larger story. Let's now closely review this remarkable diagram. This chart illustrates the educational, professional, and political paths taken by the elected members of the House of Representatives in 2019. Each line represents an individual legislator, and what stands out is how often certain paths repeat. Elite universities, law degrees, careers in business, or private law. Still, the less traditional routes are no less inspiring. Everything together underscores an important reality. Representation is enhanced by diversity, and there is no single prescribed path to Capitol Hill. From real estate to medicine, from engineers to lobbyists, and my path, while shaped by precedent, will be uniquely mine. On one side, we have Senator Elizabeth Warren, who took advantage of her legal education to deeply structure her congressional career. A law degree could similarly provide me with essential skills, deepening my understanding of law and enhancing my policymaking abilities. As well as that, other educational opportunities, such as a master's degree, could also offer valuable perspectives aligned with my vision for broad representation. On the other side, Senator Bernie Moreno built his path through entrepreneurship, starting a car dealership in 2005 and growing it into national success. His hands on business experience, from auto sales to blockchain innovation, shaped a practical approach to solving problems. His story shows how leadership forged in the private sector can also powerfully translate into public service. Equally important are the early steps that turn ideals into action. Before rising to national prominence, President Obama worked as a community organizer on Chicago's South Side, tackling issues like job loss and housing discrimination. These experiences grounded his leadership in empathy and real world understanding of policy impact. My internship at the U.S. Attorney's Office was my life changing early step. It deepened my understanding of justice and confirmed my passion for public service. Actually, the footage you saw of me in New York was from when I was there for an interview at that same office. And just recently, while working on this very short documentary, I was offered and accepted a paralegal specialist position there. With these next steps secured, I now definitely move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Sociologist Daisy Reyes emphasizes that educational institutions are especially powerful for Latino students, not just as a place of learning, but as political incubators. They shape identity, foster leadership, and influence how young Latinos end up engaging with public life. As I consider my next steps, whether in law, graduate school, or entrepreneurship, I know these environments will continue shaping the perspective and voice I will bring to American politics. I'm inspired by the unknown ahead, even though I'm clear on the destination. I remain committed to growth, whether that means continuing my education, launching a business, or embracing unexpected opportunities along the way. No matter how the path unfolds, integrity, authenticity, and a deep commitment to meaningful representation will remain my guiding principles as I work towards a seat in Congress. Running for Congress isn't just about ambition, it's about responsibility. It's about the mechanics of power, the needs of communities, and the personal readiness to serve. In this final segment, we explore what it takes to move from preparation to action. In my case, I carry a bicultural identity that will shape everything I bring to campaign trail. Latino candidates are still underrepresented in Congress, and yet we bring unique experiences that enrich American democracy. My campaign would be built on a foundation where I wouldn't just represent Latino communities, but I would engage meaningfully with every citizen. According to the US Constitution, the requirements are straightforward. To run for the House, you must be at least 25 years old, a citizen for 7 years, and live in the state you want to represent. For Senate, the bar is slightly higher, 30 years old and 9 years of citizenship. I'm 21, so I don't meet those requirements yet, but I see that time as a gift. It allows me space to grow in every aspect previously mentioned, and it gives me the opportunity to sharpen my vision, deepen my roots in communities, and build a meaningful relationship with those I hope to one day represent. Choosing a political party or not is one of the most consequential decisions any candidate must take. Aligning with my major party offers structure with access to funding, national visibility, and an established voter base. The Democratic and Republican parties have long been the dominant forces in the American politics, and many Latino candidates have found space to lead and contribute within both parties. Deciding whether to align with a party or not isn't easy. It often comes down to personal values, strategy, and the communities a candidate hopes to represent. It's a serious choice, one I know I'll have to consider carefully. Running as an independent or even joining a smaller party would offer the freedom to build a campaign outside the traditional system. It takes more work and more visibility, but it also allows me to stay rooted in my principles. Whether within a major party, a smaller one, or on my own, I'll stay open to what best reflects my values and allows me to serve the American people with clarity and purpose. As I just mentioned, there are obstacles ahead. As Ocampo and Ray argue in their study on Latino congressional candidates, institutional gatekeeping by political parties often limits Latino entry into electoral races. Latino candidates receive fewer endorsements and less support, which narrows their visibility and viability. To overcome this, I plan to build networks early and cultivate trust across communities and institutions. Moving on into another critical decision, where to run. Choosing the district or state I would represent is not just about geography, it's about connection. It's finding a place I can represent and that also represents me. Places like South Florida, Texas, Boston, and New York have all shaped who I am, and any of them could one day be home to my political career. Still, I don't yet know where life will lead me. What I do know is this: Americans want leaders who can understand their hopes, their struggles, and their daily lives. And they want to build that connection the right way, through presence, listening, and real long term commitment. Political scientist Bernard Fraga challenges the common assumption that Latino voter turnout increases simply when Latino candidates are on the ballot. Instead, his research shows that turnout is more strongly influenced by the size, strength, and civic engagement of Latino communities themselves. This reframes some part of the meaning of representation. It's not just about identity, it's about the presence and empowerment. My campaign would seek to energize these communities not through symbolism, but through outreach, transparency, and authenticity. Running for office is a responsibility to the nation, a call to protect its promise and shape its future. It is about earning the trust to lead, advancing real solutions, and standing up for the people and principles that define American democracy. I will run to deliver, to help move this country forward with clarity, conviction, and a deep belief in the strength of the United States of America. The road ahead isn't set in stone. I may pursue law school, launch a new venture, or begin my journey through local government. But every step forward will be guided by clear purpose: to help build a Congress that better reflects the people it was meant to serve, diverse, engaged, and grounded in everyday realities. A Congress that doesn't just speak for the people, but truly understands them. And to anyone watching who sees themselves reflected in this story, your path matters too. Whether it begins in a classroom, a courtroom, or a community center, leadership doesn't wait for permission. It begins with the decision to serve. The journey to Congress doesn't start in Washington, it starts where you are, with the courage to lead.